Hello, my pedigree chums. We're still playing Dragon Warriors. We're still playing Prince of Darkness, but we're on what should be the final dungeon and then the final confrontation with the ignoble Kilndid back in Glissom. So, where we were last time, they slaughtered a priest of the Cult of Darkness and his assassin bodyguards. Beware the Tartan Ninja. And went through a portal in a shadow menhir, sort of, or an obelisk, into the space beyond, which seems to be the sort of final place. Yes.
Did we actually transit through, or did we?
Well, you didn't. You don't really have anything else to do. You'd healed up, so. Unless you decided to pack it in at the last minute and head home and go, fuck this for a game of soldiers, then
No.
I'm assuming you're going through.
Okay. When you say healed up, are you referring just to hit points or to magic points as well? Or the
hit points. Though I think you leveled, so you should have a few more magic points.
Okay, I shall have a peek at that updated character sheet.
Right. As you pass through the monolith, you find yourselves in a vaulted granite-walled hall with two black quartz statues towering some 4 meters high on either side of a raised podium. A single beam of black radiance pours down from a black circular hole in the ceiling. Steps lead down from this podium to a pool filled with a matte black liquid. Smoke rises up in wraith-like forms from the surface of the water. The only exit to this room is an archway at its end. The pool ends just where the archway begins, but it looks like one could squeeze rather clumsily around the edge of the pool and through the archway by stretching one's legs across. A grey swirling barrier of energy, nacrous and completely opaque, obscures the archway.
You used a term I'm not totally familiar with, although I've seen it in print before. Nacreous? Does that mean like gaseous, giving off fumes or something?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but that's my understanding.
I'll Google it for
let's
myself.
learn. Let's learn a new word together, shall we?
Consisting of or resembling mother of pearl, having a play of lustrous rainbow colors, and iridescent oil slick. Okay.
So oily.
Nacreous.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've all learned something new.
Surprisingly, that was a word I already knew the definition for. Me, the person who didn't know what portal meant.
I can tell it's a British module with a word like that in it. No one in North America would be able to even spell that. Oh, God.
So what do you wish to do?
So is the pool blocking the way through?
Not completely. There's a small ledge around the edge of the pool, so you could kind of awkwardly make your way around it.
I would not hazard stepping on that because that sheen, that nacreous sheen, may indicate some kind of slickness on the stone, and you might tumble into that pool. We should perhaps check to see if it's acidic or depthless or somehow home to another tentacular monstrosity.
And also, there's
thinking.
there's a correspondence between long words and danger in this game.
Onomatopoeia, for example, terribly dangerous. And don't even get me started on anti-disestablishmentarianism.
I was thinking of a long word.
I'm gonna take out one of my arrows and dip it into the pool. See what happens.
Okay, you take your arrow, dip it in. It's slightly thicker than water, so the surface tension is a little bit stronger, and it leaves a slight oily sheen on the arrow when you pull it free.
Doesn't seem to be acidic. I don't know. Why don't you take a sniff?
Is there any identifiable odor or chemical odor I might know?
There is.
With?
There's a kind of damp petrichor smell to it.
Napalm!
Not petroleum, petrichor.
Oops,
You know
my
what?
bad.
You know when it's been dry for a long time and it rains? That kind of smell, but damper.
Does there seem to be anywhere where this liquid actually dripped from?
No, it just seems to exist in this pool.
What a beautiful word, petrichor.
I bet it was napalm.
I feel like it's turning into Learn with Grim tonight.
Well, doesn't seem to be any harm. Perhaps I could shimmy across and raise a rope for you.
Curious. Were there? Oh no, there were no wooden doors or portals or boards or anything like that in this maze, were there?
No.
No. Okay.
It was all gold.
I wonder. I have a spell here that says glisten. Would that? Oh, I'm sorry. Glissade, a 3-meter radius of ice. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be well. I don't want to just waste the magic points, but if needs be, I could perhaps try using that to solidify some of the back end of it in case we. Well, no, maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. I'll shush.
Thinking about it though, might be better if Scizora, actually shimmies across first.
I know what we could do. Give me the elven rope. How far round does this thing go over the pond?
The pool is maybe 10 meters by 10 meters square.
Right. So if I was to shimmy across and then put one of my spikes in, like a handrail, so could I actually make a handrail all the way around?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, you could
Thank
drive. You could drive pitons into the wall.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll do that. I'll do that then, Grim.
You don't need to do that many of those because it's only really the corner of the pool that you need to kind of step around. Okay, so yeah, you could drive those in.
Yep.
Just so you know, the reason why I suggested you isn't because I'm afraid. It's because I'm wearing heavy armor, and the risk is falling into liquid.
Oh,
I immediately.
And there's me thinking you've got a soft spot on your heart for me, sir.
You shimmy around and drive a couple of pitons into the wall between the slabs of stone. So you're kind of perched in the corner now, next to the archway.
I'll wait for the others to come before.
Well, there's not really enough room for everybody to come across and balance. You're going to have to kind of pass through one at a time.
Yeah, right.
So,
okay, well, I'll go deep into the cave now.
Okay, you move through the arch. As you move through the arch, it's like the air sort of congeals around you, and you feel something around your head. The rest of you see what appears to be a sort of grey, gelatinous ooze congealed around Scizora's head.
Boy, I wish I'd been just in the thing.
I mean, this fluid kind of flows up and oozes around his head. And...
No, as he passes through the archway, it's like the air solidifies and congeals around his head and forms this sort of grey pulsating hood. What's Scizora's magical defense?
9.
Okay. You can feel it sort of burning and intruding, and tendrils of it flowing into your ears and up your nose and into your mouth.
That might cause a full-on panic.
So obviously I feel danger now.
Yeah. So, it's not exactly combat, but what does anyone want to do?
My initial instinct was to grab onto the rope and go after him.
Okay. Right, so you grab onto the piton and haul yourself across. Your reflexes is 16, isn't it? So, yeah, no problem. Okay. Do you want to pass through the archway to get to him, though?
I was going to grab him by the back of the neck and pull him towards me.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Right. Yeah, you grab him by the scruff of his armor and haul him back through the archway. Make a reflex roll not to fall off or drop him. So D20 reflexes are under.
This would be brilliant if I drop you. Oh. I'm so sorry.
You dropped
I rolled
him.
a 20. Yeah.
Okay, you haul Caesura back through the archway, and then are almost pulled completely off balance. One of the pitons starts to pull free, and he slips through your fingers and belly flops into the water. The moment his head touches the water, the grey hood makes a high-pitched shrieking noise and dissolves away, leaving Caesura flailing around in this water, which is about a foot deep.
I'll rush forward to help them gather their wits and pull themselves out of the water.
Yeah.
Wow, failing was good.
Perhaps we could soak some cloth or whatnot in this liquid and kind of mask up. Maybe it'll recoil from something if we're wearing it, like a bandito.
A liquid looked deeper from the shore.
Yeah, it's you can't see through it, so it's kind of impossible to tell how deep it was. Doron tears off a bit of his blanket, dips it in the water, wraps it around his face, balances and kind of shoves his head through the portal. But no hood appears over him. Oh, that seems to have worked.
And I'll do the same.
Yeah. So soaking a piece of blanket or something in the water seems to keep these hood things off your head. So one by one, you're all able to pass on through the archway. There's a walkway on the other side of the arch. It's raised about 6 meters above a layer of swirling mist that covers the entire floor of a large hallway. This stretches away into the distance. At the end, you can see the dull bronze and gold gleam and the frame of a massive throne. 2 walkways, steps, lead down into the mist on either side of the hall, and there are passages leading off to the east and west as well. Just before the stairs leading down into the mist, there is a bracket on the west wall, holding curious, hooked croziers with a strange, pungent web of resin hanging from a string at the end of their curved portion. Just before the eastern stairs, again attached to the wall, is a long row of chains. On closer inspection, you see scratch marks on the wall and traces of blood on the floor. Puppy. I'd best give that description again. Okay, so passing through the archway, there's a walkway on the other side of the arch. It's about 6 meters above a layer of swirling mist that covers the entire floor of a large hallway. This stretches away into the distance. In front of you. At the end, you can see a dull bronze and gold gleam and the frame of a massive throne. 2 walkways, either side of this giant hallway, lead down into the mist on either side of the hall, and passages also lead off to the east and west. Just before the stairs leading down into the mist, there's a bracket on the west wall, holding curious hooked croziers with a strange pungent web of resin hanging from string at the end of their curved portion. Just before the eastern stairs, again attached to the wall, is a long row of chains, and on closer inspection you see scratch marks on the wall and traces of blood on the floor.
What's a crozier?
Like what a bishop holds.
Like a smoke incense thing?
The hooked stick.
Okay, thank you.
Shepherd's crook type thing, I think. Words with Grim again. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's a priest's stick. Like what the Pope or a bishop uses.
Ah, yes.
Does the rope thing look like a spider's web or something?
Only in the absolute most vague sense.
And does the blood and the scratches look recent?
Some of the scratch marks look older, some look newer. The blood, it's turned sort of blackish brown, so it's at least a while old.
Right. Boy, do I wish I had my dust devil with me. to hoover up the mist.
I'll inspect the blood. See if I can discern something from it.
You've got tracking, don't you? Make an intelligence roll, D20 intelligence surrender.
That time I succeed.
You don't think it's that fresh? Maybe that's seasonal, so it's almost a season old. So 3 months ish.
How big is the throne? Is it a human-sized throne?
Much bigger than that, like a giant's throne. One of those frost giants, or even something bigger, could sit in it.
That'd be Balor's one, no doubt.
Probably.
And with the chains on the wall, he's no doubt had people chained up against the wall, and he's given them a good flogging for his own amusement.
Fresh snacks, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. And the scratching on the wall is to know that people trying to burn his advantage.
I don't fancy going down into that misty fog much.
Perhaps we should maybe test the mist to see if it reacts to anything, maybe with the end of my staff or whatnot. Sir Elaine, if you would, grab tight hold of my cloak and whatnot, and I'll step forward a bit so that I can. If I
Wait. I'll speak to the skull, our female friend who's a skull, and says, "Does this mist pick up anything for you? Do you get any vibes from it?"
I forgot about that skull. That's right.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I'm asking her ladyship, our skull friend, if she can actually pick anything up from the mist.
So you sort of wave the staff with the skull at the end of it over the mist a bit, and I can't sense anything from this, but this is ancient magic, extremely powerful. So it's beyond my ken.
Okay, look. Thank you, lovely.
Plus, we should avoid it for now.
Good thinking, Batman.
Ooh, the Batman. What is this?
Oh.
There is a man bat out there.
Yes, a Chiropteran vampire that terrorizes the cities in Caesora's native land.
Indeed he is. He's the king of the gypsies.
So the legends would have it.
Yeah, so the legends will have it. Yeah.
So you say there's a exit from this chamber to the north, east, west, and south.
The massive hallway extends to the north. The way south is back through the archway, and there are passageways leading off east and west, past the chains on one side, past the croziers on the other.
And we would have to
go
transit
west.
through the mist, yes?
To go forward, you'd have to pass through the mist, unless you want to somehow climb around the outside of the wall or something.
Well, let's go west instead of going through the mist.
Okay. The light in here, there's not a lot of it. It's quite sort of purplish blue, and you've been down here long enough, it's starting to make your eyes hurt and water a bit. Right, so passing through to the west. The short corridor ends in a stone doorway. Very finely balanced on spikes of stone in place of hinges.
Quite odd.
But it's currently shut.
Push it open.
Okay, it swings open surprisingly easily to reveal quite a large tiled room with what appears to be a pool of the same black liquid that you saw earlier. There's a bench along the west wall, and lying in heaps around it, you see grey-black cloaks woven with the symbol of the eclipsed moon, the now familiar emblem of darkness. Hanging on pegs on the wall are dark iron circlets that would fit around a man's head. They too have the darkness symbol engraved on them. The room is otherwise completely bare.
I wonder if the circlets allow safe passage into this area so those blobs don't attach.
Just as likely to bestow a hideous curse on you. You try to put them on. I don't like anything with those moon symbols on. Regardless, I guess I'll walk over to the moon circlet and pick it up.
Okay, it's
Feeling brave.
pretty heavy because it's iron. There's a very thin patina of rust around the edges of the spikes and prongs on it. But it's also slightly oiled, so someone's been maintaining it.
It's not magical. Seems to be some sort of restraining collar. And used recently.
Does it look like it would fit around the neck, or like a crown of thorns, something like
if you had a small head, it would fit around your neck, but otherwise it looks like it's meant to be like a circlet.
Okay.
Or like a shackle rather than a collar.
Could be. Or like the Monkey King's headband.
You gonna try it on?
I'm not putting this anywhere near my head. I'll just hand it over to you.
I'd rather not try it on. Anyone else want to try it on?
As a rule, I tend not to touch these things.
I never wanted the crown in the first place.
Let's see if it can be marred or marked, if it has any kind of supernatural resilience. I don't want to necessarily.
It's not magical. It has rust on it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be magical. You can scratch it with a steel knife.
Okay. Well.
What about the cloaks? I'll look at the cloaks.
Okay, they're grey-black, embroidered with the symbol of the eclipsed moon in the centre of the back. As you rifle through them, a small bronze key drops out of one of the cloak pockets, goes ting ting off the tiled floor, and falls into the water. Sploop.
Aha! At least our endeavour wasn't not fruitless. I'll instinctively reach for the key.
Okay. You put your.
So Elaine, you said these look serviced. That these circlets and the cloaks.
Indeed.
You find the key beneath the water without your hand burning off or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means there's people down here already. We've met some. Yeah. Occultists, priests, and followers, and here we have a
cloakroom of sorts.
A cloakroom, yes. Yeah. So, can I suggest a ruse de guerre, which is what I read about in one of your books, Sir Elaine? We can disguise ourselves as these occultists, which might get us a bit further.
I might play that role best. Who is the noble son we have with us?
Doron.
Does he know Doron? Does he know any catchphrases or greetings or any kind of like Masonic handshakes or code phrases that they use, or do we know any of that at all?
No. But I mean, you only need to throw them off for a second, so.
Well, do you know if men or women have parity in any of their leadership circles, or is it dominated by male priests, or?
Everyone you've seen who's a part of this cult so far is a man. You haven't met any women who are part of the cult yet.
Are these cloaks capacious with hoods on?
Yes, they've got the big floppy hoods and wizard sleeves, and yeah.
So we could conceal ourselves easily.
Oh yeah.
I did not think of subterfuge.
Well, I mean,
It's a good idea.
we can't we can't survive too many more ambushes, can we? We need to take the initiative somehow.
Does this look like a washroom, Grim?
Kind of, or you've been in some most of you have been on the Crusades, so you've been in some temples of the Tashim faith, and they wash their hands and feet before going to pray, and this is very much like one of those sort of cleansing pools or spas.
Yeah.
Except that the water's pitch black and has that weird oily sheen on it. But other than that,
yeah, just pass the cloaks around.
Okay.
Hello.
And the circlets, or not?
Yeah, look at the circlets, but I can't figure out how they're supposed to fit on. Are they like bracelets?
They just go on your head.
Like a crown.
What?
It's a ring of metal you just put on your head.
I'm wondering though. I'll cloak up fully. I'll fully cloak up, and I'll throw the hood over my head.
Yep.
And someone perhaps put the circlet on my head and see if that looks normal, like to be on the outside.
It looks kind of awkward and doesn't fit right. You think it has to go on your actual head.
So, if they're not magical, then they can't curse us, can they? If we put them on, surely.
It doesn't seem likely.
Yeah.
No. Let's
Get ready to hold me down in case I lose my mind. I'll try it on. I'll try it on.
It's kind of heavy, but doesn't seem to hurt you at all.
Right.
The fine filigree of silver that marks the outline of the eclipse on the front of the circlet shimmers slightly and glows slightly.
Don't worry, Kieran. If you go mad, I'll kill you myself.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
Okay, so you've got cloaks and circlets.
Yeah.
So what next?
I have an idea. I will try and whisper in my mind to Sir Elaine, if he's also wearing a circlet, how does it fit?
Okay. Meanwhile, inside Sir Elaine's head, meow 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 meow.
Fluffy bunnies, fluffy bunnies, fluffy bunnies.
In other words, no, they don't make you telepathic.
Okay. Worth a shot.
Okay, so what's the plan now?
Back the way we came and through the
opposite door?
east passageway.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Okay.
Cool?
There's another door. This one, whilst also being made of stone, has a wrought iron padlock holding it shut.
Take out the key and put it in.
It makes a loud clunk and opens.
Ah,
I
was useful.
The interior of the room is bare, except for a long row of shackles along the eastern wall. There's a number of dried up skeletons still hanging from these.
It just seems to be some sort of prison.
Don't be afraid. The
Any
skeleton.
of them wearing bronze armor, Grim?
Beg your pardon?
Any of them wearing bronze armor?
No, they look more new than that, but still old enough to have dried up.
God, I wish I had a forensic skill.
May I examine the skeletons slightly to see if they have evidence of torture or breaks in their bones or any, having been pulled and like joints popped and things like that?
I mean, they've still got flesh on them. They don't.
Oh.
These ones don't appear to have been tortured, but they're very thin, much more so than you'd expect just from rot and mummification, like they were starved to death.
Okay.
There's some faint scratching on the wall next to one of the skeletons that seems to be in the form of letters.
Can they be made out? Do we rock
You
them?
need more light, so do you want to light a lantern again?
Yeah, I will go ahead and do that, certainly.
Okay, scratched into the wall, in slightly archaic Ellislandic, is: "Today the black-cloaked priests came to take away my brothers. They had donned iron circlets and carried the crooked staffs with blue lights. They took my brothers to the pit, and we heard their screams. The priests returned alone and unharmed."
Filthy bar stewards.
I guess we need one of those staffs for the get up to be complete.
Yes, it's a sacrificial pit, isn't it? There's something down there in the smoke. That ain't good. If we're wearing the cloaks and the circlets, it might protect us.
You've exhausted the possibilities now, so the only next step is to find some way across the pit.
Oh, I was muted the whole time. I was just wondering what the message was again.
Okay, I'll read it back to you. "Today the black-cloaked priests came to take away my brothers. They had donned iron circlets and carried the crooked staffs with blue lights. They took my brothers to the pit, and we heard their screams. The priests returned alone and unharmed."
There are two important clues embedded in that. They had donned iron circlets and carried staffs with blue lights. We need to acquire that before we approach the monster pit or whatnot.
We have the iron circlets, but we don't have the staves.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you do have the cloaks. The staves are the croziers.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bishops. The bishops.
Can you guys hear me?
Can now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I said that before, but my mic didn't work.
Oh yeah. I was just clarifying.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head back into the main chamber.
We've got to go back there. Yeah, definitely nowhere. Don't go anywhere alone. At least 2 by 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the main chamber, you've got the croziers on the left and the steps down. You've got the chains on the right and the steps down. Then there's all this mist and roiling darkness, and then on the far side, this throne.
I'll head on over to the croziers.
Okay, there's several of them. So they sort of end in a loop. In the center of that loop is a sort of resinous globule with a web of strands leading to the outside of the crozier.
I'll pick it up and sort of weave the ends, maybe tap it a bit, see if it starts glowing.
It doesn't light up.
How do you make this work?
Strike a light.
I'll try holding the circlet in front of one of these croziers.
Nothing happens.
I'll hold it in front of. Who's wearing the circlet? Is it you?
Yeah, there's one circlet each. So
I'm wearing a circlet. Perhaps I should hold it and try and concentrate on making it light up.
I'll give you the crozier.
no, nothing happens there.
Maybe it needs to be dipped in something then, because you described kind of a globiness around the end of it and so on. Yes.
Yeah. So it does have this kind of glob of resin in the center, and then this web of strands to the outside of the crosier.
Does it resemble any of the liquid that we've seen so far from the main area? Is it that?
No, it's like pine resin, but not.
Perhaps it's flammable.
Yeah, why don't we use maybe just grab a little bit of wick from our pack, take a bit of flame from the lantern, and then try lighting it.
Okay, it flares up, and then the flame dies down slightly and turns blue.
Aha!
All right.
I'm a genius.
If only you'd listened to Becca earlier.
Yeah, light them all up. Yeah, light them all up and pass them around.
Okay, so you got your cloaks, you got your circlets, you got your flaming crosiers.
Oh, light them up. I thought you meant make the light turn on somehow. Not like literally set it on fire.
Come on, barbarian, set things on fire. That's like number 3 on the list.
Love it.
Number 1 is kill stupid nobleman on the list.
Yeah.
Number 2 is rape stupid nobleman.
And then set them on fire. Not necessarily in that order.
Correct.
Rape the horses and ride off on the women, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
we're safe to go into the mist.
All right. So who's going in front?
Probably our brave and noble leader.
If we're sneaking, Cesora. If we're not, then
No.
me.
No, we're not sneaking. We're going to pretend that we live here. That we're going to own it. Yeah, we're going to process. Yeah.
Then I'll go first.
Okay. So Elaine descends into the mist. Your lantern goes out when whoever's carrying it enters the mist, but the crosiers remain lit. The mist is thick fog. It's cold and so dark, and you can smell the sea. And then occasionally, out of the smoke and the mist, you see horrors like deformed fish, part man, with needle teeth and glowing eyes, and glowing in unnatural lights. But they all stop short just of reaching for you. But you're crunching bones underfoot and the occasional beaten copper vessel. Needless to say, it's a long, fairly terrifying trip across the bottom of this hallway, and then you finally reach the steps on the other side and begin to ascend them, emerging from the mist in front of the gigantic throne. A broad set of steps leads upwards out of the mist-filled pit. At the top of the stairs there is a massive, ornately wrought throne of bronze and gold, with swirling demonic figures arranged in a circle around the titanic bronze headpiece. The back of the throne rises some 15 meters up into the air, practically touching the dim shadows at the top of the hall. Under the throne's gigantic legs, there is enough clearance for an average-sized man to walk upright.
Also, this is like a Fomorian-sized throne.
Yeah, and not just any Fomorian, a very big one.
That's another one of those Jocelyn.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's bigger than them.
a very big Jocelyn.
Yes. He used to get picked on at school for being bigger than all the other Jotun. Jumbo Jotun, they called him.
I guess rather than sort of like walk around and look at things like we're tourists, it's just
Oh,
keep
that didn't work.
walking.
Okay, so you were saying instead of standing around and gawping?
We did a little bit of gawping.
Yeah. I mean, you would.
A tad of gawping. I'm gonna just keep going
Okay, it's not immediately obvious where to go, but keeping going takes you under the throne, and there's a double wooden door behind the throne. It's most of the way shut, but one of the doors is slightly ajar.
Anything?
Can you hear anything?
Yeah.
You can hear and feel like breathing, very, very slow, but very, very powerful and deep and resonant. Just sort of...
Does it sound like snoring?
Does it sound regular and even though it would be resonant and deep, like a sleeping series of breaths?
Yeah, that's the impression you're getting.
Maybe Cesora should sneak forward and suss things out.
Tippy toes.
No. Becca's right. We should do anything to raise suspicions.
Well, I can try and silence them because I've got it within me if you want. Because that's what shock attack is, isn't it, Jim?
What's that?
Shock attack, it's like backstab. So I can get
basically usually gives you a free attack on someone.
Yeah.
Well, we'll stay a few paces.
If it's a monstrous creature there, if it is slumbering, we might be able to murder it at a distance. I can inflict wounds arcanely, and as far as I know, they bypass armor. I have a kind of an out of character question for you, Jim.
Yeah.
The inflict wounds spell, it says D10 damage, no armor, etc. Does that apply to like manufactured man-made armor, or does that mean
it wounds something directly? So even if the creature itself has innate armor like hide or carapace or something, it would ignore that.
Okay. So that's an idea.
You can get a zap at it, but I'll backstab it, just in unison. How's that thing?
Well, if we decide that route to take, Becca had the idea of not fussing about it all and just pretending we're full-on priests supposed to be here. Yes.
Yeah.
But we don't really have something to offer to feed the critter, and I would guess that they come down here with offerings. That's the element we don't quite have here, and I'd rather not any one of us take on that role.
Well, let's not overthink it. So when the first chance, we just throw down and start killing things.
So the element of surprise through our costumes, then.
Yeah.
Let's keep
What does
going.
everyone else think?
Okay.
Seems the most reasonable plan.
So just steel yourselves and carry on.
Yeah.
Right. You push your way through the door. Beyond the door, there's a short section of corridor. Just by the door through which you've entered, you see one of the oddly shaped croziers that you're all carrying still smouldering in a sort of stand that seems designed for the job. A dark cloak and an iron circlet are dumped nearby as well. Sorry, two croziers, 2 iron circlets, and 2 cloaks. Just sort of dumped here.
Yeah, I was going to say use the word dumped rather than placed, so they very clearly look dumped. Yes.
Yeah, someone in a hurry.
Yeah, because they know we're here, don't they? They're panicking.
Yeah, that's actually a decent observation. I hadn't thought of that.
So there's back the way you came. You can carry on northwards, or there's east and west doors. And that breathing sound is slightly louder in here. It seems to be coming from the north.
I think we should suss that out. What do you guys think?
I think it's always best to investigate the side passages rather than go straight towards the sound of breath.
Okay.
So do you want to stick with tradition and go left?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you ease open the left-hand door, and the wooden doorway opens onto a room full of strange bric-a-brac. old wooden wheels and platforms that might once have served as carts in religious ceremonies, faded garlands of black ivy and dried up flowers, and leering death masks of people's faces. Well, not just people. Arranged around the walls. It looks like generations of religious knickknacks and paraphernalia and relics have been stacked up here.
I'm going to creep in and take one of the fear masks.
Okay. 1 second.
Add it to my collection.
I'm curious. You mentioned there were death masks of people, and then you said not people. Like what did you mean by also the not people? Like
The lorry.
Masks of people who aren't people, like other races. Sort of alien, almost elfin-looking, some of them, others of them twisted and hideous.
I like the fact that you didn't immediately just say, yes, you pick up the mask. So...
Yes. So Cesora reaches out for one of the masks, and it abruptly moves and reveals itself to be either the abdomen of a spider, or placed on the abdomen of a spider, a rather large one. And it reaches forward and tries to bite him. What's Cesaro's defense?
11.
Right. You recoil, but as you do so, the rest of the masks start to move, extruding legs and showing off their pinching mouth parts. So, 1 sec. Right. Cesora. So one of these masks came alive and tried to bite you, and then as you recoiled, the rest of them start to move. It's like the wax death mask has been affixed to the abdomen of these creatures, or that they're just sort of grown that way. Some kind of foul magic or artifice. But whatever the case, they're going for you, and there's quite a few of them moving around on the shelves now. What do you want to do?
Oh, I hate spiders.
I'm going to shout fire at the. I'm going to sort of like produce a fire pellet and just chuck it down.
Okay. Are you going to warn anybody?
Well, I'm holding it up. Since I'm the only one who walked into the room, I'm going to hold up a flash pellet in my hands.
Yeah.
And not turn
Well,
around.
no,
I'm not going to turn around.
You all went in and got a look around.
Right, okay. I'm going to sort of like go, and then sort of like hold up a flashbang and then just like chuck it.
Okay. Everyone roll a d20 under your reflexes, because that wasn't really much warning.
Oh,
no.
fiddle battle! I fail.
Nat 20.
Oh dear. Okay, well, if you failed, you're blinded this turn. If you critical failed, you're blinded for 2 turns.
I am blinded this turn.
Okay.
Well done.
Right. So yeah, there's a bright. Cesora gives you barely any warning, and then there's a huge bright flash, and you hear the chittering and squealing of many, many spiders.
What's
Elaine,
that, both the melee fighters?
Elaine, you cannot see.
My instinctive reaction was to start sort of covering my eyes and slashing at the sound of what I can assume to be something attacking me.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't hit...
10 away from your attack and roll.
Hopefully I don't hit Caesoria. Oh, I actually hit.
Me or the spider.
Bloody hell.
Okay, just roll damage.
Yes.
I do 5 damage.
Okay. Cover your eyes, just stinging from the blast, sort of blindly flail around with your sword. You hit something, but you can't tell how much damage you did because you're blind. Right. Becca, who is also blind.
Yeah, I'm not going to start waving around 6-foot claymore in a small room.
No. So what do you want to do?
But I'm going to drop the claymore and draw my backup short sword
Okay.
and drop onto one knee.
Okay. Clang. Right. Not all of the spiders were blinded, and the three of them that weren't blinded all leap at Caesura for doing such a mean thing as setting off a flashbang. What's Caesura's defense divided by 3?
Well, it's 11, so
3, 3, 4.
3, 3, 4, yeah.
No, I'm totally wrong.
3, 4, 4.
Yeah, 3, 4, 4.
Okay. They throw themselves at you. You duck under one, but another 2 sort of hit into you and dig their fangs into your leg. What is your armor factor?
3!
Both of them manage to bite straight through your armor. Take a total of 5 wounds of damage.
Right, okay.
What's your current health?
2. Well, it's 16, because I went up a level, so I don't know if I've healed up automatically. But
Not all of it. You'll have 1 more hit point. So
right,
your
okay.
health is 3 then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel a burning from the bites as the spider venom starts to course through your veins.
Okay.
You're going to want to do something on your turn, or the poison might well finish you off. Kerrigan.
Poison works that quickly in this game, eh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't last long. What do you want to do?
Yes, being blind, I'm not sure that I have anything that I can do. There's a spell here that says Peer, 20-meter range expires on roll of 20. Does that replace my sight with magical sight, or just allow my natural senses to extend out?
I think it allows you to extend your senses. Let me just look it up to be sure.
Okay.
What
If it
level
works
is
at all, it's a rank 2 spell, Peer. To specify a point and shift sight there, but I'm wondering if it is see the world through my mind's eye magically, bypassing my own fleshy orb.
It's a projection of your existing senses. So,
Okay. Yeah, I can't use one of my scrolls. I'm not sure I would be able to actually use an area of effect spell properly in this case. Could you say again how many spiders there were? 4, 5, 6, more than 6?
You don't know. You didn't get a good look before you were blind. At least half a dozen, you think.
Okay. Pardon me just a second, folks. My mom's calling. She's she needs a bit of help. She's in stroke recovery. I've got to attend her.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Stroke recovery.
Yeah, it's like intensive physio and stuff to help you get use of stuff back. Anyway, we'll carry on then. New turn.
My granddad had a stroke. Didn't recover. Oops.
Lame. They're not good, are they?
I have pulled a neck muscle.
Oops.
Exercising.
Okay, Caesura. If you don't deal with this poison, you're going to take some damage at the end of this turn. So, what do you want to do?
If I eat one of these golden apples, will that take any effect?
It will stop the poison and heal you 1 hit point.
Better nothing. Do that then.
Okay.
Because I don't have an antidote.
Okay. Right, so you grab the apple out of your pack. They're still as fresh as the day you picked them.
Mm-hmm.
You scarf down the apple as rapidly as you can, and you feel it soothing the poison out of your veins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's way up to 4.
Yes, you regain a whole health point.
Ooh, I feel
Of
lucky.
your very own. Right, Elaine, you are no longer blind. So your vision clears, and you see this pack of spiders rattling around the room. Some of them seem to be blind, bumping into things and falling off shelves. But 3 of them seem to have mobbed Cesora.
Zora, you fool! How many are there? Can I, like, quickly tally?
Rough guesstimate, 6 to 10.
I'm gonna, like, try to grab Zora and, like, pull him out of the room.
Okay. Yeah, you grab hold of him and sort of push him ahead of you out of the room. The spiders sort of falling away and then rattling along the floor to chase after you.
Fall back!
Right. Becca is still blind. Does she want to do anything?
You can hear me yelling fall back, but you can't see me, and I don't know you're blind.
If I can hear any chitterness scuttling, I shall slash at it.
Okay.
If not,
make an attack roll at -10.
Bingo, that's a 4. So
Okay.
my chitterness scuttling, seeking short sword.
Roll damage. Is it magical, that one? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus what? Plus 1?
Yeah, +1.
Okay, yeah, don't worry about armor then. Just roll damage.
Ouch. 8 hit.
8.
Obsidian short sword. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, you can't see what you've done, but you know you hit one and you know you hurt it from the way it shrieks like a tea kettle. Right. So, Elaine's moving out of the room with Cesora ahead of him, which just leaves the blinded Becca and blinded Kerridan. Right. So,
Spiders can chase me if you feel like it.
They could do, but, you know, animal instinct, fumbling blind targets. Right, what's Becca's defense? You're muted. You're muted, old school.
So what's the blind modifier?
-4.
10 defense.
Okay.
Truth, that's quite a lot still for being blind, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to divide that as evenly as possible between the spiders?
Yeah. Was there 2 or 3 of them? Whether
Yeah.
3, 3, 4. Or...
Yeah. Sorry, it was 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's Kerridan's defense?
6.
So is that after the -4?
No, I apologize. That's 6 total, so 2 then after -4.
So split your defense on 2 of them and...
Sure, that makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I typed earlier I wanted to draw my sword and back out, but I don't think I realized that would make sense because I've got the staff in my hand, so I'd probably just kind of...
Well, you could hold the staff in one hand and draw the sword with the other, but... Yeah. Right, so...
Uh-oh.
Right.
Oh no, Jesus.
Okay, right. What's Becca's armor?
6.
6. Okay. You feel a bunch of these leathery, crawly bodies hit you, but none of them seem to be able to bite through your magical armor. You're managing to beat them away from your face, so they can't get at you there. So they're on you, they're biting you, but they're unable to get through your armor. What's Kerridan's armor?
It is 2.
Okay. Yeah, you feel them scurrying all over you, biting wherever they can, and you feel the sharp puncture of their bites. How much health have you got?
At 8 points.
Okay, you've taken 8 points of damage.
Oh,
So you
That would
are unconscious from the spider bites.
Probably screaming, get them off, get them off, get
Yeah.
out!
And then your vocal cords are paralyzed and you drop to the ground in an undignified position. Right.
Thriller, right?
New turn. Becca, you can see again. Cesora, Elaine has hustled you out of the room. What do you want to do?
With me,
Yes, you.
since I'm out of the room, there's nothing I can do.
You got options. What do you want to do?
How many of them how many spiders do I actually see living?
6 to 10. They're all scurrying around a lot.
And how far away is Kerrigan from the door?
Probably one of the last ones in, so not far from the door.
Try and grab her and drag her out.
Okay. Yeah, you grab her by the arm and drag her out of the room.
Yep.
The spiders jump off her and hiss at you, extending their mandibles.
I'll hiss at him back.
Right, Elaine.
Get away from me, bitch.
I'll stand at the door and wait. As an action, I can take something out my. Actually, do I have something on me? I seem to be healing potion giver. Yeah, I've literally got one in my pocket. I'm gonna give Cesora a healing Wait, no. Oh no, 'cause it's gonna cycle over to No, I've got to go with my instincts. I've got to go with my instinct, which was to stand at the door and give Cesora my healing potion for Kerrigan, and say, "Pour that down her throat."
Okay, so you move to block the door and toss a health potion back to Cesora. Okay, health potion. Right, I'll cross it off.
I immediately realized that was a bad way of handling that, but I can't take it back.
Right, Becca, you can see again. You are covered in 4 gigantic spiders. And there are 4 others sort of scrabbling towards the doorway.
How big are these spiders?
Big, but not huge. About the size of dogs. Medium-sized dogs. Terriers.
Right, so well, I'll grab the hilt of my sword of Valender Claymore.
Yeah.
And make a melee move, sort of fighting withdrawal to the door.
Okay.
With my short sword.
Yeah.
So I'll slash at one of these.
Yeah.
You dropped your
yeah, I'll allow you to grab the claymore, but not use it. But you can use your short sword to smack at the spiders as you pull back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, as well said.
Yeah, I was just making it clear to Jack. Okay, take 2 away from your attack and roll.
4 has to hit.
Okay, roll damage.
9. Cool, short sword's good. I like it.
Okay, so you beat a fighting retreat towards the door. As one of them sort of scuttles at you, you stab down with the short sword and pierce clean through it, and then drag your sword back. It's kind of listing to one side, but still moving. Right. So Becca's defense was 10, wasn't it? Is that with the -4 or?
Yeah.
So
It's 14 now.
14. Yeah. Okay. Divide your defense between the ones that are attacking you.
Yeah, am I surrounded or was it?
There's 4 of them pouncing at you. The others are going for Elaine. What's Elaine's defense?
My defense in total is 18.
18. So 4, 4, 5, 5.
Yes.
And you got that magic shield now as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. But they're going to need crits to actually hurt either of you. So Okay. The bands of spiders hurl themselves ineffectually against your armour as Becca beats a fighting retreat, and you sort of stand side by side, blocking the doorway.
Oh, that bloody man! I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
Caradon lays there, going and takes 1 additional hit point, so -1. So when you get to -3, you're dead.
Oh, happy day.
So new turn, Zora.
Did they get Caradon out?
Yeah.
Did they manage to get her out? Did they get her out?
You going to give her the potion?
Yes, I am going to give her the potion. That's what I'm saying. Did they get her out? Okay.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. Yes, you got her out of the room, and then Elaine gave you the potion.
Give her the potion.
Yep.
And also give her an apple as well to wash it down.
Okay.
None of our poison.
Caradon, your paralysis flees. You regain 7 health points. You were on -1, so that's 6. And Cezora's handed you an apple for some reason.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No time to fight.
Right.
I'd imagine it would take me a little bit of time to regain my senses, and then rather than just like jump up and start doing whatever. It's not 5e. So,
Elaine,
I'm sort of holding the door closed. Can I still hear them on the other side?
yeah. Well, you want to get Becca out before you close the door on the spiders.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Becca was retreating to the door.
out.
You were blocking the door.
Okay, no, I'm still waiting at the door then.
Okay. Do you want to strike at one of the spiders while you're waiting?
My action was to close the door as soon as she gets
So
out.
just leave you waiting until Becca's out the door. Okay. So Becca retreating, yes?
Yeah.
Do you want to slash at one of the spiders on the way, or?
Yes, I will. Yes.
Okay. Take 2 away from your attack and roll.
11. That's a hit.
Roll
6
damage.
6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. You lop one of the legs off one of them, and then are back through the door. And Elaine slams the door shut, and you hear the spider scrabbling at the other side.
That was too close.
God, if it wasn't for our enchanted harnesses, we'd all be ripped to shreds by now.
I wasn't concerned about us.
Oh, I am.
The scrabbling slows, gets quieter, like less spiders are interested in the door, and then finally stops.
that was far, far, far too close. Thank you.
Can we have a signal, Zora? So can you be in like in the next county when you?
I did give a slight whistle before I chucked it. I did wait.
It was an enclosed.
Can you be in the next
room.
county when you let one off?
Can you send a letter at least 2 weeks in advance, notarized, before you set one up?
Well, it's funny if you go in first and set it off. That's much easier. But not when we're all in the room together.
Is anyone still poisoned?
No, it's either been healed or it's faded by now.
No, I didn't get a bit.
Well, technically you did, but not hard enough.
Just
No
a mere
puncture
scratch.
Those healing potions are worth at least 200 gold crowns. Buy a small cottage for that much.
I'm curious. I have something listed on my character sheet. This is jar of emetic. What is emetic? Is that like a salve or a component?
You drink it, and it
makes
makes you
you-
throw up and shit yourself, thereby expunging poison from your system.
Oh,
So in other words, people,
Yeah, poison that you've swallowed, though, not
Yeah.
poison that's been injected into you.
Is that something I can craft, being the daughter of an apothecary? Do I have any?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We've had that on us for so long.
Yeah.
Where did we get it from?
Was it from Mongolia? We got those, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was. It was something where you were expecting poison, anyway.
What is the cursed bronze mirror? Do we understand what its curse does?
When you look in it, you see a demon behind you.
Oh.
That seems to be
Spooky.
it so far.
It's a scary mirror. Does anyone remember seeing anything of use in that room before Sisora decided to blind us all?
No, it looked like a storeroom, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of junk in there. You would have had to have rooted through it to really see anything useful. There was nothing immediately obvious as being worth anything.
Let's say free lane, open the door again, and I'll chuck another flashbang in, and then you can slam it shut.
I was debating just leaving it. Let's go to the passageway this way.
Well,
The east.
Could we pause just a moment? Why don't we? I mean, you have a large shield. We have a couple of pole arms. Why don't we try and lure these things out, maybe one or two at a time, and just stab at them from a distance so that they can't be unleashed upon us at some later time?
It doesn't seem worth it. There's no point getting injured or lost cause. We don't have enough resources for a prolonged battle.
The room, I mean, there's plenty of flammable material inside. Perhaps I could unleash some dragon's breath and set it alight, and we shut the door and let them all crisp.
Sounds like a plan. I'm up for that.
And that's one less dragon's breath you'll have to cast against a real enemy.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to haul off and do it all on my own, but I wouldn't want these able to be unleashed at us at some later point. The venom alone would be enough to completely destabilize any battle we would face.
Then we jam the door.
Yeah,
Sure, that's concerned.
they don't seem to have scrambled through the door or anything, and it's gone quiet on the other side, so... So, are you settled on checking the opposite side, Elaine?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
Eric Gender.
Right. The door opens onto a small square room with oak-panelled walls with crude old designs carved into them. A big old desk stands in the north side with a number of scrolls laid out on it. And there's an array of inks and powders and other calligraphic materials arranged in almost like an apothecary's chest attached to the front of the desk.
It's right in my wheelhouse. I'm a calligrapher myself.
Yeah.
Seems more useful.
Any other exits?
There is a door in the southeast corner of the room.
Right. Check out the hardware. Kerrigan?
Yes, I'm going to glove up so that I don't come into contact with any contact poisons or things like that in this fellow's menagerie of accoutrement. And yes, I'll begin examining some of these scrolls to see if any of them are indeed magically scribed scrolls, or if there are any precious components I can just pilfer easily here. And then I'll check.
There's a bunch of expensive inks and powders and so on that are used in the creation of scrolls. You know, they're expensive anyway, but to a sorceress, they're pretty priceless. So you can jumble those up.
Sure, I'll bag those up. And
there's 3 scrolls. One is a Sword of Damocles. One is a Nova scroll, and the third one is a Scroll of Healing.
the rest of the players who've had experience with Dragon Warriors, Sword of Damocles, is that what I might assume? A sword pops over a fellow's head and attacks him from above?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blackmail spell. Yeah, it's a do this or the sword attacks you.
Okay. And Nova, I would presume, is like a fireball or some kind of area affected explosion.
Or as a attack nuke, Nova. That's like very powerful.
Oh.
I forget which level it is.
I think it's. I'm just checking.
Nova, it's level 7.
So that's beyond my ability to cast then.
Not from a scroll. From a scroll, you're fine. Myriad beams of searing light shoot out from the caster's body in all directions. Any being within 5 meters that fails to jump clear is struck by 1 to 3 of the beams, each beam doing 3d8 hit points of damage.
So when you're surrounded and all is lost, you pull it out and everything in the room dies.
It's
except for you.
Yeah, it's basically a magical version of the Death Blossom from the Last Starfighter.
What about your friends? Your allies? Do they also
it specifically says enemies in the spell description, so
okay,
theory,
very
friends
useful.
are all right.
Unless you hold a grudge against someone.
Yes. I thought I was your friend. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe someone who blinded you in a room full of spiders.
Is Karadin the only person capable of casting from a scroll? Is this something limited to sorcerers in the rules set?
Yes.
I think any magic user can use a scroll, I think. But
Yeah,
since you're the only
none of
magic
us-
user,
yeah.
it's kind of moot.
Okay.
Because none of us are magic users, what I was getting at, yeah.
Perhaps, Cesora, you've got a little more familiarity with the little nooks and crannies and hollow legs and whatnot that might permeate this desk. Care to give it a go in case I missed anything?
I'll have a look around, Grim.
Okay, roll a d20 under your perception.
2.
Right, you find a couple of secret drawers with some more of the more expensive inks and materials for scroll making. So
Okay.
you can pocket those as well.
Yes. If there's
I'm gonna have a
native,
look at these panels, Grim.
Sorry, pardon?
I'm going to have a look at these panels. I'm not going to touch them. I'm just going to have a look at them. What-
They're fairly crude depictions of various demonic creatures tormenting people. Some of them look like fishmen. Some of them are just weird looking. Some have horns. Yeah, it's quite unpleasant the more you look at it.
So more
looking for a
pictures.
hiding hole in the walls.
It's for Morricone. That's what it is. It's for Morricone.
Yeah, it's rule 34 for fish people.
We saw a lot of fish before we went into this.
I guess we could call them Furmorians.
Oh. No.
I mean, it's disgusting and disturbing, but you can't help but look. It's quite Fomorish.
Oh, someone killed Grim before he gets any more.
There's no place for fish porn.
Oh.
Let's go through the door in the southeast.
Gives a whole new meaning to the term pescatarian.
Oh, go away.
Okay, you open the door. Yeah, let's muscle on past the fish puns. You open the door and pass down a narrow stairway into a hallway that passes onwards to the north.
Yeah, there's a time and place for fish ponds.
Yes.
I've had enough now. Just leave it.
Before we go any further, I'm going to turn around and say to them all very quietly, I'm sorry. I am really sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I'm feeling a bit empty at the moment. Does anyone have anything which can heal me?
I can certainly help. How badly along are you?
I'm on 3.
Okay. How about we use that scroll of healing rather than my magic points? Because I can use them to fuel other things rather than just healing.
Okay.
Knowing my luck, I'm going to just get one for my sins.
So your eyes dance across the scroll and invoke the magic. The scroll burns itself up, not even leaving a residue of ash, and Cesaura's wounds close by 7 health points.
Thank you. So that's me up to 10 now. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Joe. Right. And that apple I gave you, Kerrigan, was a golden apple which was given to me by elven maidens, and it nullified the poison which was in your system. That's why I gave you the apple.
And will have healed
Thank
you
you
an
very
extra
much.
health point.
An extra health point.
And-
Okay.
Yes. And you won't age for 24 hours, but that doesn't really show up.
You can thank Celine for the potion.
Thank you both, gentlemen.
No problem.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do to help anyone else who needs it? No. Remember those 2 potions of skunk I passed out last time. Keep those handy.
Yeah, I've got one of
I'm
those.
I'm at 14 health, and my max is 18.
Here's the
I don't know if it's worthwhile keeping me topped off just in case I actually
Where
do
does
get
the
hit.
snoring seem to be coming from, Grim?
Where does what? Sorry.
The snoring.
Still
North.
to the north.
Right.
But at the moment you're at the bottom of these stairs, and there's this passageway leading north.
Right, okay.
I mean, if you want to spend a magic point on a minor heal, just keep me topped off. But
I
just in
will
case.
follow your wishes. What do you desire?
But I don't know if you have the magic points available, then
I'm
just in case actually
I'm
gets-
about at a third of my capacity.
Maybe leave it then.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, do you want to follow the passageway north?
What was to the south?
To the southeast was the stairs, which you've now gone down, and then at the bottom of the stairs there's a passageway heading north.
Oh yeah.
Misheard that then. Is it sort of parallel with the passageway north above, or is it?
It's lower down, but yeah, it's parallel to it.
It's quite odd. Can we still? You can still hear the breathing.
Yes, a little bit louder.
A little bit louder.
Well,
Ooh.
don't worry. It's probably a living god just having a nap. It's better that he's asleep, to be honest, than awake.
Maybe the top passageway was like an observation sort of area, and this is like
A feeding pit?
why would it lead directly into an office though? It makes sense.
Somewhere where they can take notes afterwards.
Where were the discarded robes?
Just
Yes.
after you came in under the throne, immediately in the sides of the entrance.
I was just wondering if it looked like they came down. The people who had discarded them had come down this way, rather than going through the top passageway.
You don't know, but it is much colder down here. Now you spent a little time down here, your breath is coming in puffs of steam. Whereas the upper level was ever so slightly warmer.
Which is
So we finally made it to
suspicious.
hill then.
This sort of thing is my area of expertise.
Well, let's just explore here. We'll just go up this passageway and see what's down here.
Okay.
Okay. Elaine in the lead
Okay.
still?
You-
Okay. You move up. The ground starts to get slippery and icy. It feels as though the lake has sort of infiltrated the complex here, because there's a thin layer of water, then slush, then ice, and you can see cracks in the brickwork, and it's bulging inward just here with lumps of ice sticking through. There's two sets of alcoves, so two opposite each other, then another two opposite each other, just past where this ice is. There's vats and cauldrons and earthenware jars in each of the alcoves. And there's a chemical sting and tang to the air here.
Oh, what do you reckon of it? What do you reckon?
Probably for brewing potions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Elixirs, unguents, I forget how that word's pronounced, but all of that alchemy. It's just like a band's name. If I can make sense about any of the ingredients or reagents or equipment or whatnot and draw any meaningful conclusions from it, let me know.
Well, you come from an apothecary's family, and you are a sorceress, and they eventually can make potions and things, though you can't yet. Yeah, it's a lot of reagents and things that are used to make potions, but making potions takes a very long time. It's not labelled in any recognisable way to you, but you think you can identify a handful of completed potions amongst the mix.
Oh my.
Potion of strength, a potion of night vision, and an elixir vitae.
Woohoo!
I'm carrying an elixir already. Would someone else like to take this elixir?
I'll take it.
Sure.
I think my pack is full. I think I'll have to start dumping stuff.
Yeah, you're all pretty stuffed when it comes to gear, but I'll let you just carry these potions for.
Well, I mean,
I take my last remaining healing potion from my backpack and put it on my person.
Yeah.
I'm happy
I think,
to.
Zora, you should take the night vision potion.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not going to be too anal about encumbrance, so don't worry.
Well, I've got stuff I don't need. I can chuck it.
The extra potion of strength. Does anyone want to take that right away?
Well, I've got one.
Would you like another?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You can't stack them, can you? Strength 19.
No.
Was there anything else? Did this lead to?
The passageway continues on to the north past the alcoves.
Ah, I see. Should we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second, I just need to look something up.
Are we still wearing the cloaks and that?
You didn't tell me you took them off, so I assume you are.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still garbed. Definitely.
Yeah. There's some of them are a bit spider torn now. Okay. There's a muck up on the printing of the dungeon, so I can't see the room number, but I think from a process of elimination. Yeah, must be that one. Okay. The corridor turns at a right angle at the end and then carries on and opens out into a dimly blue lit room with a square pit in the centre of it. There are stairs descending down into the pit in much the same way as they did in that big hallway before, just on a much smaller scale. There are some steps leading down to the north. There are some steps leading up to the west. There's a doorway to the south, or there's the passage back where you came.
Let me guess, something comes from the pit.
Beg your pardon?
Steps. Sorry?
Sorry, I didn't catch didn't catch what Jason said.
The snowing comes from within the pit, I guess.
No, it's still further north, but it is much louder here.
It's an odd kind of tension building up.
So there are stairs to the north going down.
So you're in a square chamber. There are exits in each of the cardinal directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Downwards to the north, upwards to the west, back the way you came to the east, and a doorway to the south.
So there's a door on the same side of the wall that we are entering through a passage. So we should maybe check that door out really quickly because it's behind us if we go anywhere else.
No, that's just the way you came.
So there's a passageway to the south.
Yeah. And there's this square pit in the center of the room, roiling with the same dark mist and with steps leading down into it.
Oh, bloody hell.
Perhaps we should check the passageway to the south.
I have an idea before we do that. What if we lash my staff onto this ritual staff so we've got a little bit extra distance and maybe kind of light what's possibly down in the pit? Maybe this magical light will reveal some stuff. It might react.
I'm not particularly fond of pits.
Nor am I, which is why I'm recommending like just kind of poking the staff down and maybe tying a rope on the far end just so we've got it held, and then the rope also holding it so we can keep it up a bit just to scan about into the mist.
Do you want to do that?
If I can get some help, I'd like to take just a couple of minutes if anyone will help do that. Sure. I'm quite curious if that goes down much further or something will react to it. I mean, it would be good to know if the mist is concealing something we can't see.
Well, the last time that was the mist was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was just the cloaks and the croziers and the circlets that saved us. We haven't got. Do we still have all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm still garbed up in the cloak and the crozier and the circlet.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm suggesting lashing my staff to the crozier, and the crozier is lit on the end. Perhaps that light will penetrate and reveal, because it seems to be a kind of a like works with like, the otherworldly materials and our worldly materials, right?
Maybe.
If no one supports the idea, I won't insist on it, but I'd be curious to see what's down there.
Maybe in a bit. I'm not particularly fond of the look of the pit, to be honest.
Okay, if tactically you're not too worried about it, then if I'm the only one, I shan't insist.
We're still trying to find the other occultists, aren't we? There are other occultists here. We haven't found them yet, have we?
No.
And they used illusionary magic before as well, and I'm not as empowered as I normally would be, so I can't cast any detection spells willy-nilly. I'd rather know more about the environments we pass through and leave behind us at our back.
Should we check the other doors first? Just
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Let's go.
I'll sidle up beside Becca.
I have a feeling that the stairs leading upwards will lead us to the top floor again. Which only leaves going down towards whatever that thing is, and a passageway to the south here that we have not explored. It's a mystery. That's why I suggested going south.
South then?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
General consensus. Right. So you move to the south and ease the door open. Beyond the door, there's a circular room swimming in a mauve aura and that light that hurts your eyes. Even though there's no identifiable source of the light, it just seems to be suffusing the area as though from nowhere. There's a pit in the centre of the room, full of a frothing, roiling liquid. Rampways lead up to the northwest and northeast, and then there's another set of doors to the south.
Well, I hate this roiling fog. It's not good.
Anything roiling is rarely any good.
Yeah.
Could you describe the color, the light? Is it suffusing the whole room, or is it limited to areas?
It's suffusing the entire room, seemingly not coming from any single source. You're not actually casting a shadow in this room because the light's coming from everywhere. It's a mauvish, bluish, purplish light, but it hurts your eyes.
And there are stairs leading around the pit.
So you got the pit in the middle of a circular room, and then the passageways off form like a Y shape. So northeast, northwest, and south, like a flux capacitor.
And there are doors leading south from here.
Yeah, all back the way you came.
Well, perhaps we should. Perhaps we should go back the way we came. I don't like pits.
Yeah, let's leave this room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you back out of the room, close the door. You're back in the square chamber with the square pit.
Let's take the stairs leading upwards.
So the west door. Okay.
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah, this whole God of Death thing is wearing a bit thin now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like variety is the spice of life. Get an interior decorator in, get some different themes going. Right. So you pass up a narrow passage of stairs lined with ancient bricks and come out into a large, long corridor divided up into squares.
When you say divided up into squares, you mean the floor has a square tiling pattern
The
on
floor has a it's made up of a series of large square slabs. Each one several meters across. Where you've emerged is actually a secret door in the side of the passage. There's a visible door to your right, which is to the north, and the wide corridor extends down to the south a long way before terminating in another door.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought this would lead us to the corridor we were already in, up above.
This hallway is about 60 meters long and 10 meters across, and each of the slabs is about 10 meters across. So it's 6 10-meter square slabs form the floor. 5 pairs of torches burn with an eerie light on brackets in equal stages of both walls.
We've not seen a floor like this anywhere else, correct?
No.
Doesn't look like a chess set, does it, Grim?
It would be a very, very simplistic chess set. On the square that you've emerged out onto from the secret door is a set of peculiar-looking black plate armor.
Does it look like it might have collapsed into place when its wearer just woofed away in a splash of mauve light?
No, it seems to have been set here for some reason. It's sort of stood there almost at attention, though it's definitely empty, with its hands resting on a big, old-fashioned style iron sword.
Something tells me that's going to be inhabited by a spirit.
Looks super cool, though, doesn't it?
It does look really cool. The way the armor's put together, it's almost like a crustacean's shell. So it's sort of rounded shoulder pads, rounded chest plate, rounded abdomen part.
Seems fishy.
Yes.
Oh.
and it's wrought with spiral patterns, and someone has worked the metal to give the impression that there's barnacles on it.
Let's have a closer look.
Okay, edge close to it.
I have an investment in looking at armor and stuff.
It's very impressive, even without being a sorceress or anything else. You can feel the magic radiating off it because there's not a hint of rust, despite it being made of black iron. Beneath the helmet, there is a slight red glow.
What do you make of this, Carolyn?
I am not well versed in martial accoutrement, scrolls and potions and desk ornaments, artifacts, paperweights that are actually magical, constipation stones and whatnot. Sure. Arms and armor, I'm not so great at. I suspect that either is bait or it's somehow a trap. It seems just too conspicuously placed given the flooring and the secretive nature of the passage we entered this passage from.
This isn't an armory of any sort. It's just a random hallway. It does seem suspicious.
This suit of armor does seem to be standing guard almost in front of the door that's to the north.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps it's on display. Perhaps this is an assembly hall, so that you can look at the wonderful armor.
All right, but
I would. Do we have a net? Do we have any form of net or netting?
No.
rope, but
No. Okay, we'll have to put that down on a list for the future.
keep your weapons at the ready, and
Yes. Yes.
I'll see if I can remove this helmet.
Okay, so you lift off the helmet. It's more of a sort of circlet with a nose guard and then chain hanging down to provide more protection, almost like a veil. When you lift the helmet off, the glowing red light within pulses brightly, almost blinding you for the second time today, and a ravening beam of red light springs forth from the orb, and just sort of shoots at random all around the corridor in front of you, but not hitting any of you, before it finally sort of runs out of energy and sparks and disappears with a small puff of smoke.
I seem to have released some sort of spirit.
The helmet, if this was iron, it should be a lot heavier than it is, but it's as light as though it were made of leather, like a coif, or it barely weighs anything.
Dare I risk placing it on my head?
But I'm thinking from a martial perspective, I mean, we've seen a lot of harnesses, haven't we?
Yeah.
Elaine. So, how would you rank this in terms of craftsmanship and aesthetic? I mean, this could be the best armor I've ever seen.
It could
Notwithstanding, it could be evil possessed by a demon, but that might even be worth it.
Well, it's okay. I guess let's have a risk. See if it fits.
So you
Put
the helmet on. It's incredibly light. You can move very easily in it. Do you want to doff the rest of your plate mail and put the rest on?
It will take about 10, 20 minutes.
You've got help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with the others helping you, you quickly strip off your armor and pile on this new set of black iron. It's incredibly light. It fits like a glove, but it only has the weight of leather armor, and it's impressively engineered. Like, all your joints are protected. Light, fine chains that hangs over the elbow joints, and the plates slot together So you can move almost as freely as if you weren't wearing any armor at all. It's very impressive.
If he were to wear, if Sir Elaine were to wear something like this in polite society back in civilization, might he be mistaken for a madman or some form of occultist or some heathen knight?
Possibly, but I mean, he's got a fairly good reputation most places. So
I was already wearing like black.
yeah, you're already
as
wearing
well.
jet black plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is +3 armor plate mail, so that has
Holy
an
crap.
armor factor of 8.
You know.
Holy crap!
Is that high? I'm
Yes.
I'm guessing that's high.
Yeah, that's
It's
ridiculous.
that's impermeable to mortal weapons.
To most mortal weapons, not all. Yeah, it's pretty
Oh, yeah.
goddamn tough stuff.
Wow.
You can't
Let's just hope it doesn't have a mind of its own.
you can't get any better than that. You know, that's like the +6 Holy Avenger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would it just be here? As I said.
It seemed to be being used to contain that terrible ravening energy, which is now all expended.
They're just thinking about it. It's their loss.
So, how do you feel, Elaine?
Like a lot of weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Like I could carry more
Lighter
fat
in the
moot.
water.
Let's go, Let's go search more of this this chamber.
Okay.
Stride off, lift my leg slightly
Would
more higher.
it be natural
Oh.
that energy sprite was an animating spirit that just wore down over time, or the spell that contained it wore down? Would I have any way to suss that out? Or
It's like it's almost like the armor was a wand or a staff that had been charged up with magic and used to contain this force. Maybe it was some kind of trap or protective device from the way the beam shot off down the corridor. Perhaps someone who wasn't supposed to be here coming up the corridor could be blasted with that light. But you were just fortunate enough to come in at the side and bypass all of that and steal the armor. So you can go down the way that the blasts were being directed, or there's a door to the right, or you can go back down the steps.
What's everyone else think? I'm kind of partial to going to the south. So I have a theory about how this place lays together, and if this southway passageway leads us back in a loop, it will make this whole room will make a lot more sense to me. That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm impressed that you were able to kind of map out in your mind what the shape might be. I stopped trying to write down the shape of things. Makes me realize how hard mapping would really be in a dungeon setting.
Okay, so you trog off down to the south, and when you reach the south, there is a small door in the eastern wall.
No, this doesn't make sense.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting it to lead us back to the the room with the passageway with the room that door that led to the spider room and the door that led to the office. So, well, what's behind this door?
Okay,
Have
open
we
up the
moved
door,
farther from
and
snoring?
behind it is the storeroom with the spiders. So you quickly close the door again.
Ah!
You
Well,
were
you're
right.
Yes, you can't remember a single person's name, but you're a natural born cartographer.
Well, I was off a bit.
Fantastic. Bravo. That's impressive.
So, Sir Elaine, we commissioned you to create a map of these mysterious islands. Yes. Well, technically it's perfect, but you've got Thingland 2, that place. You've labelled this mountain, not sure, but I think he called it Smokestack.
So that must mean that that circle room with the pit in it, with the sort of like steps leading around it. That must lead back to the passageway I was thinking of. I think.
Lead the way.
So-
Yeah, then
Trust your instincts.
So you got +3 armor, +3 sword. You just need a +3 shield now, and it's game over, man. You can retire, can't you?
or killer god. Ah. It's do you want to go north from here, behind where the armor was?
Yep.
Your instincts have been fantastic so far, so I'll throw in. Yes. Go. What do you think, Jason? Old school.
I'm up for it.
He can lead now because he's a proper tank.
Yes.
Unless something gets rolls a 1 on a 20,
Churchill Mark 1.
which conveniently also does the most damage.
Yeah. So when they get you, they get you good.
Yeah.
All he needs now is a heart, and he'll be the Tin Man.
Nice.
Right. At the very north end of this broad corridor, past the secret door that you uncovered, there's a black door in the northern wall.
Ooh.
When you say black door, you mean like a plain monolith that
Yeah, it looks very similar to the monolith that led you in here, but it's not shimmering.
this could be the ass end of it, and we come out into the shimmer.
Ooh. Any illusions or anything in this corridor? I'll wave my sword around, Jim.
Okay, you smack your sword against everything. There doesn't seem to be anything illusory.
How about putting your sword in through the portal? So you kind of
Tink, it's actually a physical door.
Well, let's push it open. See what's on the other side.
Okay. You push, the door slides back a couple of inches and then draws up into the ceiling. The black door gives way into a room illuminated by one eerie green lamp. It burns beneath the relief of a carved face that stares back at you with baleful red eyes. 2 vast horns protrude from its forehead into the room, and the face's features seem to rearrange into a sneer as it looks at you.
clarification. When you say when it looks at you, this is like it swivels its eye to look at us, or it just seems like a 3D statue as you turn it about.
It's like a 3D statue, it just seems to.
Okay. One would call for a very different reaction than the other.
It's Baylor, I presume.
Or a statue thereof.
Yes, that's why.
Yeah. Its mouth is starting to steam and smoke with green-black fog.
Oh, that can't be good. That can't be good.
Oh, that can't be good.
Yeah, can we back away and take cover outside the portal?
Yeah, let's back away. Back through the hidden door.
Okay, you move quickly back to the hidden door. Behind you, the smoke is starting to coalesce into a humanish figure.
Do we parley or do we just rip it to shreds first? I whisper that.
Or just run.
Or I can flashbang the motherfucker.
Yeah, it looks scary. This.
Tell us whoopsie next time. Let's have whoopsie.
While you're hesitating, the form coalesces. It's the image of an ancient Celentine centurion.
In bronze armor, by any chance?
Well, in black iron armor. All of his armor's been replaced with black iron. His eyes are glowing red. He hefts a square shield in one hand and a black sword in the other.
I think he wants his armor back, Shirley.
Is it Elaine's armor?
No.
Oh.
It's,
that would have been freaky.
It's ancient Roman-looking armor.
Okay, Romanish. Okay.
Well, he's about to finish coalescing, so what do you want to do?
I'm keeping a flashbang in my hand just in the safe side.
Oh, we're getting out.
Do you want to continue to flee, or do you want to face him?
Let's wait for our leader's instincts. Are we fleeing from this coalesced form, or are we going to engage it, Sir Elaine?
Let's just leave it. There's no point.
Okay, so you slam the door shut and flee down the stairs. Brave Sir Robin.
How dare you bring my son?
Right,
I
so
didn't see.
you scramble
I
down.
didn't see any reason to attack it. There wasn't
No,
anything of value in the
there's
room.
no reason to slaughter everything you run into, except experience points. But,
And
Well, this
that's
is round
why
two.
they shouldn't be used that way.
Oh, we get experience points from killing things.
and from completing adventures,
Oh,
and from bypassing things.
I'm more sort of thinking about like dungeon fatigue or whatever it's called. Like the more battles, more fights we get into, the more it drains our resources, and then we can't go anymore.
Which is true. Okay, anyway,
Which was what happened in the Boar Temple place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you bundle down the passageway, leaving the figure behind, and emerge back in the square room with the square pit. So the only directions you haven't been in here are north, down the stairs, or down into the pit.
I think it's clear where we're going.
So you're stripping off all your armor, filling your cheeks with garlic, and diving into the pit. Is that right?
North downstairs. Come on.
Oh,
I'm going down their pit.
I'm surprised. My money was really on the garlic thing. Right. The steps lead down to a pair of ancient wooden doors, carved in the same way that the wooden panels were. These doors appear to have been blasted open by some powerful spell, and now hang loosely from their hinges. Beyond is a dark hallway with 4 statues of the 4 elements, carved in human form this time in each corner of the room. All of these statues have been defaced, their heads knocked from their torsos and their arms lopped off. At the far end of the room stands a pair of double iron-bound doors. A golden chain was once stretched between these, sealing them shut, but this too has been broken, as has some sort of spiral talisman that was connected in the middle of it. One of the doors stands slightly ajar, and a black, roiling smoke smelling faintly of incense is seeping through the gap.
Seems likely that what we have come for lies beyond there.
Oh yeah, while we're here, the king and the hearth flame. Yeah.
Yes.
Would it be wise to employ those
What
potions
the-
of strength now?
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Doran again. Yeah, does Doran want to upgrade to the black plate? Yeah, your
Yeah, he could take your old armor, couldn't he? Yeah,
Your
he would have done that
Oxclasts.
at the time, I'm sure. Yeah. Beg pardon?
What fragrance does the incense smell of?
Mostly pine resin, you think?
Right.
Which way was the door? Were the doors blown?
Inwards, so to the north.
So something has forced its way into here
Rather than out, yeah.
rather than out.
And if they were cultists who wanted to honor this place, they wouldn't just willy-nilly destroy things like that. It sounds like, a breach rather than a visit.
So while you're getting yourselves organised, the northern door that isn't... so the first set of doors were blasted to pieces. The second set of doors, the chain was smashed and the seal was lifted. So where that second set of doors is, they creak open slightly, and a hunched-over figure shuffles out from inside. His hair is long and grey, his beard is long and grey. There's a circlet upon his head, fine robes in in velvet and embroidered, and he's just kind of stiffly shuffling across the floor towards you.
The king?
Does he look familiar?
You've not seen the king, but Doron steps forward from the group towards him. Uncle!
Ah. Let's go help him.
Okay, you move forward past Doron, up towards the old man. And as you sort of reach him to help him, he makes an ungodly gargling, hissing noise, lifts his head up, empty eye sockets, dead flesh dripping off the bone, and he tries to bite you and breaks his teeth on your armor.
Oh.
Ah.
Fuck me!
I didn't expect that to happen.
Doron
It's a demon!
Doron just drops his sword and stares.
Well, I should try to restrain the king in a bear hug. Don't want to.
He's a very feeble zombie, so you manage to get your arms around him no problem and hold him in a headlock. He's trying to twist and turn in your grip.
So hang on. So I just made my intelligence roll. So we thought that he was hale and hearty a week ago, but
This corpse has been dead longer than that. And you're up close and personal with it now. It smells of embalming fluids and oils that are used to preserve corpses.
he's been dead for months.
It smells like the incense that was around his bed. Does it not?
Yeah. You remember way back when, back in Glissom, there were all those incenses and perfumes and things in the king's chambers? He smells a lot like that as well.
This is treason. This is treason. There's only one person who could have done this, Doran, and you know who it is.
Kill
one
dead.
person. The one person who had access to the king for the last 2 years.
My
And-
uncle's been dead for 2 fucking years. That
Well, that's the last time we
bastard.
seen.
There aren't words.
That was when he retired. Was it from public life? Wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years ago. He's still trying to twist and turn in your grip, and you can hear stitches popping, and like dried flowers and things are falling out of the wounds.
Well, Doran, the duty falls to you.
He picks up his sword. Right, let him go.
Yeah, you let him go. I let him go anyway.
Okay, the dead king lurches towards his nephew, who just brings his blade down hard into the top of his skull, which gives way like paper, and just crushes the body down to the ground. Doron crosses himself, which is the first time you've seen him do anything even remotely religious, and shakes the grime off his sword with a couple of quick shakes. Right, let's put paid to this and go and get the bastard.
Do you
Let's
want
get
the
this evening back.
circlet? Do you want the circlet, Doran?
He picks it up, sort of weighs it in his hand. Never wanted it. Duty, I suppose. And puts it away in his pack. Come on.
If not just for evidence, we
Aye,
found him.
we should take his body with us. Right, so the only way onward is to pass through this door, and that breathing sound is now much louder and coming from through those doors.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this is so stereotypical. You said there were golden chains?
Yes,
Real gold?
real gold.
Recoverable.
Recoverable, yes.
Okay. We'll have to maybe get that on the way out.
Yes, there's an ancient god of myth and legend, probably, beyond these doors, that may be being awoken from its eternal slumber to destroy the world. But yes, the gold chains are lootable.
Especially as a casual and upkeep, the healing potions have been impressed upon me as extremely valuable.
Good, I'm pretty sure you can summon a helicopter to move all this stuff out as well.
We could move in.
Off the bloody mountain.
Hey, could we move in?
No, not here.
Okay.
Those gentlemen.
Okay.
Yes. Move into an evil temple.
Sure.
Yes. One
Molly, maybe.
second.
Right, so I'm feeling it's strength potion time.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, if you're taking stuff, so what, Becca's taking the strength potion?
I'm taking mine.
Okay, so
Yeah, let's go.
I have a scroll here labeled Scroll of Deathlight. There are no details about Deathlight.
I will tell you in a sec.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll look at that for you. That's quite nasty as well.
And then I have a Scroll of Firestorm as well. That might be appropriate to the elemental theme here, water and all this other stuff.
You've just been hoarding all these immensely powerful scrolls.
Yeah, don't hold back as well.
Okay, it's my instinct to hold back, right?
Just hit it with like
Deathlight.
Yes.
Range 40 meters. A very powerful bolt of energy. Strikes D4 creatures. Speed 16. Doing 3d6 plus 10 damage.
Lord of heaven!
Jesus, that's a lot.
Ouch. Minus AF. So
That's like the main cannon on the Yamato.
Exterminatus.
that's going to hurt.
That's what Nova does. Exterminatus.
Yeah, that would probably kill any of us stone dead, wouldn't it?
Okay, any other preparation apart from Becca and Cesora taking their strength potions?
I was taking mine as well.
I don't actually see one on your sheet. You sure you got one?
Let's give them one.
I still have one listed on my sheet, Grim.
Okay.
Under Mule. It's number 9 under Mule. I only had 2.
Okay.
Well, I've always had one since the start, and
oh, yeah. Okay, there's the other one. Yeah, alright. So everyone except Kerridan has taken a potion of strength. So that'll be, I think, +1 each to attack and armor penetration and damage.
And at the same time, Grim, I'm going to coat my new magical +3 sword with that medium poison, which does 3d6.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. I think that's +4. Oh no, that gives me strength 19.
Nice.
Ouch.
When you have a moment, Grim, I have a couple of questions about items on my sheet.
Okay, just a sec. Try
Yes.
and find that medium poison. There it is. Okay. Right, yeah, go ahead.
Where did it go? It said a potion of Sands of Slumber potion.
Yes, it's a potion that sends people to sleep.
Okay, so I would dose other people with that, or trick them into drinking it, for example.
Yeah,
okay.
or throw it at them. Yeah.
Okay, it could be. So it's like an area effect weapon then. Okay.
Yeah.
Demonic Stormcaller Staff, 1 per day.
Yes, that it lets you summon a storm, so it'd be no good down here.
Right. Okay.
Right. This before I put the medium poison on my sword, Grim, it's got strong poison here. What does strong poison do? Because medium poison does 3d6. What does strong poison do?
I think strong poison is 4d6, but I shall look it up quick.
Yes, 46. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not how much damage it does. That's the roll to see whether it takes effect.
All right. Okay.
Why is it always so hard to find falling rules and poison rules in games? It's always the thing I spend the most time hunting around.
It would be great if more designers, and this isn't a dig, or don't mistake that, but I mean, just would have like a simple sheet at the back. Like, here's a character sheet, and here's just a quick cheat sheet of stuff you would need at a glance, right?
Yeah, like common
A
scenario.
lot
stuff.
do that.
I'd like to. Well, it'd be nice if it were a standard. It would be really pleasant.
I think it's 4d6 and it does damage over 3 turns. I think is the difference with strong poison.
I'll put the strong poison on.
Okay.
I'll agree. I've got a question.
Yep.
That potion takes my strength up to 19. So to get +2.
Make it +2 then, because that takes it beyond the bounds of normal human strength, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's a Becca does this Popeye thing. He just bulks up by about 50 kilos.
Did you fall in the cauldron of magic potion when you were a child? Is that what happened?
That's an old reference, isn't it? I'm surprised you even got it.
Is that the Prydain Chronicles you're referring to?
I found the poison roll. It's on page 122.
Okay.
And you were completely correct. It was 4d6, then 1d6, 1d4, 1d3.
Yeah. Yay! I remembered stuff. Strong poison. Where are you?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's absolutely under Sandri's here. Silk chemise that wouldn't appear in any other kind of product has to be here.
Where is the strong poison on your sheet?
It is on my horse. Cringe.
Oh no.
Well, it's not a lot of use to you there, so you'll have had to use the medium poison. Okay. Any other prep, or you're all done?
Done.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Green Acres is the place to be.
Under the water, in with the sea.
Right. You move forward through the door. There is a titanic, gigantic body here. The head disappears up through the ceiling. Ice surrounds the entire room. There's great big pillars of it holding everything up. But the ice is fairly rapidly melting away, and that breathing sound is coming from the hole through the ceiling. This body that you can see is just enormous, but it's sealed within ice, but that ice is starting to drip and run. Around the body are 5 pentagrams in the ice, with fire burning in each of them. There are 2 creatures about a head taller than any of you, with pale blue skin and white hair. One of them has horns on their head and is a twisted mockery of humanity. The other one is unbearably beautiful to look at. One of them carries a pair of iron tongs, in which is held a bright glowing ember. The other one just seems to be observing.
Which one's holding the tongs?
The bestial looking one is holding the tongs.
Fight this demon!
Is that the hearthfire he's got there?
Yeah. So, 1 second.
Right, Doran, we'll distract these creatures, and you grab the hearthfire and get out.
Aye, let's get them. Okay, so they react more quickly than you. The tall, beautiful one moves between you and the one holding the ember, who is occasionally sort of relighting the fires that seem to be melting this ice prison that presumably that's Balor is imprisoned within. But the beautiful one steps between you and him. She gives a short ululation in a voice so beautiful it brings tears to your eyes, and a barbed spear flies out of the ice nearby and smacks into her hand, and a shield, a sort of wasted shield, flies out of the snow on the other side and slams into her hand, and she takes up a defensive stance to wait for you. Cesora.
You guys are going to hate me. Fire in the hole. Flashbang.
Okay, sufficient warning this time.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah, there's a bright, dazzling flash as the alchemical bomb hits the ground in front of her, and she squints and turns her head away. Elaine.
Charge! Run
Right.
forwards.
You come hurtling in. You gonna try and go for her, or take advantage of her blindness in some way, or what's
Go
the plan?
straight for her.
Straight for her. Okay, so you come hurtling along, this new armor sort of clanking as you charge up to her. Right, her defense is reduced. She was set and waiting for an attack, but can't really see you that well. What's your defense?
My defense is 18.
Okay.
Yes.
She tries to figure out where you are from the noise of the armor and stabs the spear out in that direction, one-handed, but fails to connect. Then you charge inside the line of her spear, inside her defenses. Make your attack roll at -10.
I hit.
Okay, roll to penetrate
I don't-
armor.
I had already rolled.
What did you get to penetrate armor?
I get +1 to penetrate armor, right?
If it's which sword are you using?
Sword of Valendar.
Yeah, you get all the normal bonuses, and you took your strength potion, so you get a +1 as well on top of that.
Okay, so that's 10 total.
The fossilized spell turns people to stone, by the way.
Range? Am I within range? For
I
example.
believe so. Yeah. Right. And what damage do you want to roll, Jack?
Do I get any added
You
damage?
get +1
is
from
just
the extra
+2?
strength as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 11. Jesus Christ.
11 damage. Okay. Okay. You get inside her defenses and plunge your sword into her. She shrieks in agony, but the shriek is just breathtakingly beautiful, even in pain. What is your magical defense?
Sounds like she's having an orgasm.
Yeah.
Like a banshee, I'm thinking. Some kind of.
It's more choral, like many voices from one. What's Elaine's magical defense?
My magical defense
Yeah.
is not as high as my physical defense. 8.
Okay, you are enraptured by her after you strike the blow.
Hold on, is this a mind control?
It is.
I have +2 to mind control.
Okay, which is enough to make the difference that it doesn't control you. You shake it off. No, no.
Oh,
Me
brilliant.
no
That
wants.
finally came in use.
Right, Becca.
I should charge in to attack this.
Okay, she's got no defense left, so don't botch.
Was it a Fomorian? Is it
Yeah.
woman or? Right. Well, I got attack of 26, so I just got roll
Don't
of
roll
19.
20.
15.
Okay. Roll your armor bypass.
All right. This is awesome. All right. D10 plus 5.
Oof.
Oh my.
Oh, 10.
So
Oh!
you could actually hurt Elaine if you hit him.
So that's
Okay,
10.
and roll damage.
My damage is D10 plus 5.
Ay caramba.
12.
12.
Nice.
Ouch.
Bravo.
That would like kill most people dead, wouldn't it?
It would kill most people dead, but not her. Right, you hew into her with the sword with all your might, cuts into her thigh down to the bone, but the blood just sort of freezes around your sword where it penetrates. So you've done some severe damage and knocked her sideways, but she's not down yet. You are immune to her charms.
Oh.
Right. Doron comes thundering past her, and with a roar of anger tries to knock the ember from the other one's hand. The creature, the other Fomorian presumably, manages to pull back away from him, and lifts the ember up high in a sort of game of keep away. Caradon.
I would like to use my Scroll of Deathlight against the Bestial Fomorian.
Okay. So, Deathlight. Sorcerer spell, I think. Because it's from a scroll, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Number 2 under Weapons and Gear.
Deathlight. Okay, so the scroll burns up and dissipates, and a powerful bolt of energy leaps from your other hand and forks out towards the being. It splits into 2 bolts, one hitting each of them.
Nice.
What's their evasion? Okay. The woman who's engaged in melee with the others, the bolt narrowly misses her, sort of singes a bunch of her hair, turning it black on one side. The other bolt hits the other one, so roll 3d6 and add 10.
6, 6, 2, that's 14, 24.
Ouch.
You know.
Yeah. Okay, he is blasted by this crackling bolt of energy. The energy that was reaching towards the woman rejoins the other bolt, and then the combined bolt smashes into him. Energy crackles all over his armor, and he shudders and almost drops the ember.
Almost.
Almost.
Okay.
Right. New turn.
Sorcerer's throw. You get knocked down instantly by a couple of spiders, but you deal 24 damage in one hit.
Yeah.
It was the
goes.
scroll and not I.
Yeah, but you're the only person who can use a scroll. So, yeah.
The woman shrieks, turns, and drives her barbed spear down towards Becca. What's Becca's defense?
18.
Oh my heavens.
Try it, love. Try it.
Right, you just sort of twist slightly with with your battle-worn reflexes, and this great big spear just slams down into the ice right next to you, cracking parts of it apart. But it didn't connect.
18 defense. That's ridiculous.
That's my normal defense.
The horned, ugly creature raises the ember and points it towards Caradon. What is Caradon's magical defense?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry.
I apologize. It is 11. I thought I clicked unmute and I was wrong about that.
And what's your armor factor?
2.
Right. A bolt of elemental fire streaks from the ember and engulfs you. Take 7 hit points of damage.
I'm at 0.
You are blown backwards and knocked unconscious.
Oh no. It's our heavy hitter.
Right, Cesora.
Which one of the two are newest to me? The bitch
The
or
woman.
bloke? I tend to chop her head off.
Okay. So you sprint across, leap up, and swing for her neck. Right. Take 3 away from your attack and roll.
17. Dead on.
Okay. So you barely strike, but you do. Roll armor penetration.
That's the longsword +3. So what
Plus
do I roll
1
again?
as well.
Well, I've got +1 for attack, +1 for damage, and plus
And-
it's coated with poison as well. So
Yeah.
it's got medium poison on it as well, and it does +3 damage. Okay.
And it's plus 1 to
Armor
penetration.
penetration as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Oh.
what did you get for armor penetration?
I got altogether. I got 15.
Good God. Right, and damage?
+3 damage, +1 damage. So that's 4 already. 12. So that's 15 altogether.
15 damage. Okay.
Yep.
Right. You leap up
And she's been poisoned as well.
as she stabs down at Becca, so that sort of lowers her neck within reach, and you sort of come across between her arm, because she's a tall lass, and cut.
Mhm.
For a moment, you don't think you've landed a blow at all, but then the side of her neck opens up, and a great fountain of blue blood pours out too rapidly for it to congeal and freeze, and she pitches over to one side and lays still.
That was tough.
Elaine.
There can be only one.
Get the other one. Be with you shortly. I'm going to run back to... Because I saw Caradon get
Yeah.
blown backwards by me, so I'm going to run back to Caradon, because I have a health potion.
Okay. Right, you can administer the potion this turn as well, and so Caradon regains 7 health points.
Thank you very much.
Where is that health potion? Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, this has really taxed you, this fight.
Yeah.
This whole dungeon, really. Okay.
I told you.
Yeah. So you sort of slide to a halt on the ice and pour the potion over Caradon's wounds and into her mouth. Right, Becca's go.
Well, I'm going to bellow with rage. Do my berserk thing and charge
Right.
at the beast with the half
Yeah.
fire.
Foam
So
flecks at your lips, and you come hurtling in with the red rage coming over your vision. Right. Make an attack roll at -5.
Well, I dropped 1. I dropped 3 defense, 1 attack. $12. As a hit.
Yep. And armor penetration.
Come on. Oh, 10.
Okay. And damage.
Oh, 14.
God.
Oh, she's a big hitter.
Okay. You slam into this thing full of rage and fury with magic potion coursing through your veins, and drive the edge of your blade into his guts. As armor sort of caves in beneath the blow, as a snap like kindling as a couple of ribs go. And when you pull your sword away, it's covered in this blue frozen blood. He sort of staggers and hunches over. Doron uppercuts him with his two-handed sword. And gets a crit. So Doron swings upward with his sword that he looted earlier, his magic two-handed sword. Swings up as this winded creature hunches over and lops its head clean off at the neck. The second Fomorian slumps over dead. The fires are, however, still burning, and the ember has been dropped in the pincers.
Ah, pick up the ember. We've got to put out these fires.
Doron grabs the pincers with the ember and sort of waves it around. How do we put them out?
Or
I don't know.
I'm going to kick over the. I'm going to kick over the pentagrams, disturb the markings, whatever.
Yes, you kick some ice and stuff onto it. The flame isn't dimmed at all by that, but when your foot crosses the pentagram and rubs out some of the markings, the flame goes out naturally. So you're able to extinguish each of them one by one by destroying the pentagrams.
Nice.
Ice, ice, baby.
The dripping slowly stops and the water starts to refreeze. The temperature drops again rapidly. So much so that you're forced to retreat.
While the potion's still working, I'll grab the king and toss him over my shoulder
Yeah.
in one hand.
So with all of that done, you wend your way back to Glisten.
Question: what about the Fomorian spear and shield? Do they look like
only
weapons?
only lightly magical. You can take them if you want. And the gold chain, of course.
Are they like anything that is crafted in our homelands or so on? Are they? Is their design different, or
there's something completely different? They'd be worth something to collectors.
If it doesn't overburden us, I think we should perhaps take them, even just as a trophy of our time here, to put in a keep.
If you want.
Are they huge though?
They are pretty big, but not overly huge. The Fomorians are about a head taller than you, so their stuff's usable, just a little bit unwieldy.
If you want, but we've got to get out of here before it freezes over.
The trip home takes you back through all the lands that you visited on your way north. It takes you about a week. You can all completely heal up because, between magic and just time. Doron gets more and more sort of dour and angry looking the closer you get to Glisten. And on the seventh day, you finally come within sight of the walls.
Prisoner in tow.
What's the plan then? We can do it the quick way or the nice way.
We've got to confront him, but we can't let the guy weasel out.
Or is it best to confront him in front of witnesses, with the whole council there and elders?
Aye, he'll know we've returned. The guards will tell him. He'll try to save face, get us in front of the council, welcome me home as a hero.
I can see a public execution coming on.
Aye. What evidence have we got? We've got the confessions, the prisoner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the prisoner. Yeah, and the doggy.
Yeah.
Little Hamish.
And the we got the confessions, the prisoner.
And the king's body, which has clearly been dead for quite some time.
Aye, I'd rather not
Well,
use his body if we can avoid it. But there's no question if we bring that out.
you could use it as a trump card.
Aye.
I think if we try to whistle out, I think we should just kill him and just pay the Were Guild later. Aye.
I mean, if we kill him, it could just aggravate things. I mean, if we don't prove that it was justified, Doran will be exiled. That's what I think, anyway.
As you approach the gates, you see that they're closed, shuttered. They probably shouldn't be at this time of day. Normally, the city would be open to traders and so on. There's a couple of guards sort of leaning over the top, looking down at you. Hello.
Hello there.
Hello? Open the gate. Prince Doran's retinue.
The king's told us to keep the gates shut.
The king and Lou. Open the gate. Prince Doran's retinue.
How do I know that's Prince Doran?
Come down and I'll tell you.
Okay, after a short time, one of the smaller doors opens up and a couple of guards saunter out. Right. Doran, after a couple of weeks of adventuring, is even more ragged looking than usual, but there's no mistaking him. He shows his royal seal and various accoutrements of office.
Oh, I forgot he's in black plate now, isn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
But a new sword. Yeah.
The guards sort of look at each other and huddle and murmur a bit. All right, we'll see about letting you in. And then they go off. 5 minutes passes.
If it goes badly, we might have a full coup d'etat on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
You sound almost hopeful. 10 minutes pass.
I don't like being made to wait. Something's up.
15 minutes pass. You hear a temple bell start to chime.
Right. Shall we get inside then, folks?
I'll follow your lead.
So one thing that Caesura can probably scale the walls.
As you're in the midst of discussing this, the gates open, and the square just beyond the gates is packed with people who are cheering and waving coloured pieces of cloth and whatever they could grab that was handy that seemed waveable. They're all cheering.
Surprising.
Hooray! Hooray for Doran!
Just time out. Where is the king? Do we have him like wrapped in cloth on?
I assume you've got him wrapped up securely in a non-human body looking
No,
shape.
we got him propped up like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yep.
Hello, it's me, the king. I'm feeling better.
A weekend at Bernie's, anyone?
Yeah, with a sign round his neck,
That's what I
penny for
said.
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old school. Why were you asking where we had the king? Were you thinking of something?
Well,
Tactic?
we don't want it obvious that we have a body.
Right. Okay.
So we got him secured but concealed.
Yeah, I assumed we had we wrapped him up and him.
Treated with all dignity owed to his status and whatnot.
Yeah, because we can't give him dignity without publishing the fact that we have a dead body.
Yeah.
You see, so we have to conceal it.
The guards sort of wave you to follow them in and start marching along the road, heading towards the Great Hall.
This is a pleasant surprise. So don't let your guards down.
Never, no. Oh yeah, I've got my eagle circling above just in case.
Yeah.
I wave to people. Hey.
Hooray!
Oh no,
Hey.
we've got wee Hamish on the lead,
Yes.
scaring small children.
Some of the townspeople are scattering heather in front of you and other, summer flowers. Hooray!
Doesn't this seem a bit out of place? Isn't it too enthusiastic? Is this?
Oh, it's a bit insincere, certainly.
Okay.
That they would have known well in advance that we were coming down the road. They could have planned. I mean, we know why, don't we? But we just can't prove it.
They think we're returning the flame, though, don't they? So it should be anyway. It's not too suspicious, but still a bit fishy.
Yeah, just be ready for things to go squirrely.
Yeah, you sort of walk along with everyone cheering. It's a bit of a weird feeling. I mean, you're used to being victorious, but celebrations on this scale are still a little rare for you. A woman in a shift dress with muddy feet and flaming red hair comes dashing out of the crowd and shyly offers Sir Elaine a potato.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take the potato.
I think you're dreamy.
You haven't seen my face.
Like a man of mystery.
And things we all look quite different, don't we? We've all come back like
with a major upgrade.
Serious amounts of kit and
horses staggering under the load of treasure.
Yeah.
Right.
Massive
Eventually,
chains.
you reach the main hall. The people have sort of followed in behind you and crowded around the hall. Doron lifts the ember in the iron pinchers. Everyone roars and cheers and throws their hats into the air, and then the guards usher you into the main hall. The council, which looks to be an entirely different bunch of people to the council when you left, are at the high table. They all stand and applaud, as do the other sort of minor nobles and merchantmen and so on in the more general crowd. The great doors shut behind you.
Hang on, what the council is all new? They've all been replaced.
Yes.
Oh dear.
This is not good.
Right. The cheering and so on dies down, and Kilndead, wearing the crown rather than the circlet, because there's the royal crown and then there's the sort of day-to-day crown. He's wearing the full-on, ostentatious royal crown. He comes down from the upper chambers of the Great Hall and takes his seat at the throne. Welcome back, Doron. Have you accomplished the quest we set before you? Aye. Here's the ember. A couple of footmen bring over the iron-bound chest that was used to contain it before, and it's carefully and reverently placed inside. Again, there's another load of cheering and clapping. Kilndead starts going on. This is a wonderful and great deed you've done. Truly, you have regained your honour, and you will always have a place at the high table and on the council.
You have a place on the throne. I can't hold my tongue.
Well, easy. All right. Chew your beans.
What? One of the councilmen stands up. How dare you, a foreigner, intercede here in businesses of the court? and our glorious king, Kilndead I. What kind of accusation are you making? This is a time of celebration. The Ember has returned, albeit not the king, which only secures Kilndead's position as the king. I won't stand for it.
Your king has returned. He stands here beside me.
More rumbling in the crowd. He doesn't even want to be king. I may have changed my mind on that. You see, in the course of our investigations, we found some unsettling news. Kilndead is an usurper. He is behind a plot and a scheme to bring Balor back from the north and give our lands over to the sea demons. Bollocks! Can you prove it? Shut your mouth, you wee scunner. Kilndead says, no, we must be generous. We must hear him out. He's driven mad by grief at the loss of his uncle, who he was unable to save, clearly.
You want proof? We have proof. That's a weird accent for Elaine.
Yeah.
You want proof? We have proof.
Show him.
I take out the letter.
Okay. One of the court officers comes over, takes it, reads the whole thing out. There's a lot of murmuring, and a couple of the lords at the high table sort of sidle slightly away from Kilndead.
I'm moving away to the main door to restrict egress.
A clear forgery. Anyone could have written this letter. Is that it?
Not all.
Bring forth prisoner.
Yeah, that was good
Bring the
timing.
witness forward, Grim.
Yep. Okay. You drag forward the guy you took prisoner. Yeah, he's interrogated roundly by the council for a long time. But he admits his role and pleads for clemency on his belly. Well, this man may have been coerced. It could be a liar, a co-conspirator, seeking to usurp me with their own accusations of usurpation. The bare majority of the council still seems to largely be on Kilndead's side. The sort of lesser nobles and the merchants don't seem to know what to think or which way to turn.
Right, have we done everything? We've got handed over the witness, handed over the letter. That's 2 things. Was there anything else we're missing out, guys? Come on,
The scroll case and the king.
Okay.
What scroll case?
Kilndead had those custom-made scroll cases. You found
yes.
one of them that was missing. So.
Let's give him the scroll case.
Stolen,
take it out.
replicated, forged.
Yeah.
It's your word against mine, and I rule by divine right. It's going to take more than this. Doran goes, wait. Not just yet. He reaches into his pack and brings out the king's circlet. I did find my uncle, and he was dead. And he'd been dead for 2 years, while this man has been speaking for him, leading us to rack and ruin and weakening us, ready for the Fomorians to come and take us when their king was raised from the ice. I found my uncle. Dead. Made into a mockery of life by Kilndead, the usurper. An elementalist, a necromancer. That really puts the cat amongst the pigeons. Doran turns to you just now.
Well, I'll bring the mule in, which bears the king, in as much dignity as we can manage.
Yeah, and you unwrap the body, and everyone sort of gasps and steps back. A couple of members of the council come down and sort of examine him. It's obvious he's been dead for much longer than the amount of time that has passed since the kidnapping, and it's obvious that he's been prepared in certain ways. One of the council grabs a couple of the guards and sends them off. They return, presumably from the king's chambers, with more of the perfumes and herbs and so on, and match the two. The council seems to have turned on Kilndead, who's looking increasingly panicked. No, I won't stand for this. I'm king. You will obey me.
I'm gonna just walk right up to Kilndead and pull his crown off his head.
He looks like he wants to do something to you, but he knows that if he does anything, he's gonna absolutely lose everybody.
You don't deserve to wear this crown. And I'll hand it to Doran.
Okay. Doran takes the crown, sort of tosses it a couple of times in his hand. Elaine, do you think I should take it?
Aye.
And the rest of you, you've been with me through thick and thin. I trust you like blood.
When
You may be a son from another mother, But I tell you one thing, Don, it's your birthright. Take it while you can.
I must admit, when I first met you, I thought you were an irresponsible drunken lout. But you have a good heart, and that makes you good enough to be a ruler in my book.
I think you're right on both counts there, Ollie. My heart's that of an adventurer, but I guess I got responsibilities, and if I turn aside from them, cunts like this bastard take over. Alright. You, priest, come here. Make me king. By the power vested in me by the church, I convey upon you the rulership by right of birth of Glissom and all its surrounds. He's caught on the hoof basically, and just makes up some holy sounding drabble, flicks a bit of holy water around, and nods. Doron sets the crown on his head. Right, take this bastard away and hang him. Kill him dead.
No, chop his head off. Chop his head off. Go for his head.
Hang him, then chop his head off.
Do whatever you want, Doron. You're king now.
And feed what's left to the crows. He takes his seat at the throne on the table, and the whole city descends into celebration.
Might I?
King God. Oh, hail King God.
Wait.
I'm gonna, I'm going to escort Kiln Dead and ensure the job is done.
Yeah.
And bring his head back on the end of my sword.
Don't kill him yet. Don't kill him yet. He was the head of a conspiracy. We need to find out who else was involved. Perhaps we could win that information from him.
You might be right.
We're coming in. It's
well, you can lock him in chains and in a nice dark, dank, deep dungeon and leave him there. But then you're free to have a long, probably couple of days of feasting and debauchery and drinking.
Sounds good.
And a fine old time. And of course, you now have yet another head of state on side. Because you're close friends of King Doron. Right, well that's that for this adventure. Though we might feed some stuff in from the Eclipse conspiracy in the future. Right. So we'll start a new adventure next time on Saturday. Same time.
Okay.
I'll sort out all your treasure and experience points and everything on your sheets. And you'll be able to return to Faramane and offload a bunch of this stuff, which is good. So I'll see you on Saturday. Thanks for watching, everyone who watched, and we'll see you next time too.